Dear friends, now I would be focusing more on the five principles of environmental justice. And so let's proceed further and try to understand as to what these five principles are and what is it that we need to focus upon. Now, here you will see that whenever I'm talking about environmental justice, I have to understand that yes, certain justice is being given to our environment also. Now, when I'm talking about environment, I'm not just talking about human beings. I'm trying to come up with a totality of each and everything that is present in the environment. It can be animals, birds, fishes, water, lakes, mountains, skies, air. It can be oxygen, it can be the different categories of air, water, ether, everything that we can find out existing within this particular environment. Okay, now given this constitution in front of us, how do we take up the principles? Now, first and foremost, you need to understand is guarantee the right to the environmental protection. Now, here I'm not going to read each and every line for you. However, you need to understand that yes, I have got the right to protect my own environment. And when I say environment, I'm not supposed to harm any animal, I'm not supposed to harm any human being, whether it is a child, a baby, a female, a woman, or rock, or anything. I need to be very, very careful about it. Prevent harm before it occurs. Now, you see, if something wrong is taking place in front of my eyes, now should I just stand and say, okay, whatever you are doing it, please carry it, and I'll just stand and enjoy it? No, your stance is that you need to take that initiative, put yourself in front and say that, hey, you see, stop it, you're doing a wrong thing. You need to have that leadership voice in front of you and then proceed further. Similarly, shift the burden of proof to polluters. Okay, as I just now said, somebody is doing something wrong and we say, okay, please go ahead and do it. No, in majority parts of the society we see that when someone is trying to hit an animal, majority of them, they stand and they're enjoying that part of it rather than stopping that entire scenario which is taking place. So no, that is also kind of a pollution. So are you able to stop it? Now, that is something that we need to understand. Readdress, existing inequities. Now, here it doesn't mean something which is taking place. Here you have to see. Okay, now here are the ones that I can find out that equality is being disturbed. So, how I'm supposed to go ahead and give the equal status so that the balance is there, and in the nature itself, and nothing is wrong taking place in my ecosystem. Eliminate the intent standard. Now, here, this has been marked, and that's why I just wanted to showcase to you. When we say that, yes, eliminate the intent standards, what does that mean? The law must allow disparate impact and statistical weight to the infer discrimination. Okay, proving purposeful intent. Now, what does that mean? The intentions of whatever it is taking place, it has to be a good one, not that you are doing it for your own sake. So again, why I am going to highlight this thing is you have to think about it. When we are talking about maximum happiness of maximum number of people who are standing there and laughing, they're enjoying it, should we say that, or should we go ahead and question Mill and tell him that, see, it's not always that maximum happiness for maximum number of people is taking place. Sometimes it is, we need to consider even the minimum happiness for the minimum number of people also. So should we say that, or there has to be a new kind of a dictum, is something that I'm throwing it open to each one of you. Catch the ball in your court and try to understand how you would like to proceed further. Similarly, one more thing that you can look up from this particular table is the manner in which they're talking about the environmental justice. So here you will see that on the topmost, it is the urban environmental justice. So what does that mean? Rural environmental justice is not there. So you need to understand and proceed further. Physical health and mental health. Okay, under physical health you have clean air, soil, nutrition, safe play, recreation, education, physical activity, healthy homes and habitat. All these constitutes for whom, for the human beings. However, if you pick up Raghuvamsham, Kalidasa's Raghuvamsham, and you will see, I'll showcase to you that particular stanza wherein the king, when he is entering or traveling towards the ashram of his guru, what kind of steps, precautionary measure he takes while riding in his chariot so as not to disturb the surroundings, has been very nicely depicted in that particular shlokas or the chantos that we are talking about, which we are missing in so-called urban or the rural environmental justice. Now that's what I wanted to pinpoint, and I thought, okay, let me go ahead and share this one. Similarly, coming to mental health, nurturing, healing, protecting, wellness, and then people will go ahead and add even happiness. So, are these the only requirements for mental health, or there is something else also that is, coming in? And as students of philosophy, can we add more and understand that, yes, this is my environmental justice, is something that I want each one of you to think about and then proceed further for the sake of the environmental justice. In the similar manner, this is one more table wherein they have showcased, what kind of discrimination is taking place at community level as well as at the individual level. At community level, we see that yes, there are built environment, land use, zoning, traffic density, then housing quality, social environment. Now let me showcase to you here. If you go and check out the property or the real estate websites in Australia, can you believe it or not, they say if you take this apartment, you need to adopt this so and so pet in your, so along with the house you get free goodies, and in one of the free goodie is the animal. Now imagine that. Now can we see these kind of a things taking place in India, is the big question mark for me. And even if it is, how many of us are ready to adopt or take care of that animal? That's my question to each one of you also. Similarly, at the individual level, how much of social support, income, poverty, then working condition, educational status is so these are another ways in which you can look upon and try to understand about the environmental justice which is there around us. So this is one thing, and there is one more thing that I wanted to showcase, and this is from one of the papers which I saw. And here you can read out, especially in the environmental justice, what are the goals, policies, regulations, procedural justices, then related to distributive environmental racism, environmental discrimination. Similarly, you have got environmental equity. Equity means equal treatment, how you are treating. It can be with the low income group, ethnic minorities, gender, then I'm also including non-human animals, then even environment, the nature around us. So those things also you need to understand and include it out here. Similarly, when we are talking about environmental racism, what are we talking about? Okay, are we giving full justice to the society? Just think about when you are traveling in a metro or when you are with your friends, how do you make friends? Now, are you justified in that or not? These are certain questions that I wanted you to think about when you are talking about the environmental justice. In the similar manner, you will see that types of justice environment has been given to us in the form of distributional justice, procedural justice, as well as the process justice. Under distributional one, we can see that how well we are taking care of our landfills and polluting industries. Okay, unequal extraction of the natural resources, desperate access to recreational space, and adding more of toxicants and everything. Similarly, for the procedural, they have given to you that yes, for example, let's say I have got a pet animal at home. Okay, now is it necessary that yes, I have to, whatever food I am eating, I have to give the same food to the animal also? Now, I do remember when I have got two German Shepherds, and the doctor immediately, when we took them to the inoculation, I remember very well the vet telling to me, you have to provide them a good amount of mutton so that the skin does not become loose for your pets, and they are healthy. The moment my father heard, and trust me, my parents who are hardcore vegetarians, since we belong to the traditional and orthodox South Indian family, my father had to literally bring in the tandoori chicken or the sheikh kebabs just to feed those two German shepherds. Then one fine day I had to question them. This is something that we eat, not my pet dogs. They cannot eat sheikh kebab or tandoori chicken. So how are you going to replace it? Then my mother, who never touches, just for the sake of those two animals, because my parents treated them also as their own children. I cannot forget the contribution which my father and my mother had taught us and inculcated those values in us at home right from the childhood. I know my grandmother, my dadi, the way I used to stand with her, and feed the pigeons with the left out grains, the small rice grains, which after sieving we receive it. She never used to throw it away. She says, no, let us feed the animals. Now that's how I learned, to taking care right from the childhood. So you will see that animal justice or the environmental justice, which plays a very important role for each one of us. So it's totally up to us as to how well we can proceed further and understand. Now this is one more thing that I wanted to showcase to you, and see, environmental justice discourse focus on protecting marginalized groups from harm from environmental hazards, then socio-economic position of groups in society, the dominating factor I'm talking about, then minority and low income dominated activist groups, we see even them also. Then comes state institutions seen as uncommunicative, even hostile expert opinions challenged. Okay, then use of nature as a resource by human creates distributive injustice and procedural injustice. Then environmental protection trumps economic growth, yet economic attributes. If you read Amartya Sen, he makes it very clear that yes, part of the society, the economic injustice is taking place, that is also falls under the environmental justice for us. So you need to understand and find out always yourself as to how you are going to enjoy and take care of it. Similarly, we have also got one more table which I really liked it, and I thought, okay, let me showcase to you. Social justice. Now these things, they are talking in terms of the theological approaches. Remember, in my first video I did mention. So here you can see that the table showcases us different things. On one side, top of the list, I have got external, internal. On the right hand side, you can see perceiving, judging. Just below the table, you can have a look, feeling and thinking. And on the left hand side, you have got sensing and intuitive. So you can make the choices and see how well they have defined and in what manner the justices are being discussed in the religious societies also. Okay, and so with this, I'm going to end my video on the justice, and I hope now you are able to understand little bit and try to fit in the models of the theories of various kinds of justice. Thanks a lot, students. Take care. Bye.